going on, guys? It's Convey and welcome back to my kitchen. In today's video we're going to be making beef tips. Before today's video starts though, I just want to let you guys know that I do apologize for the voiceover. I had some microphone issues and the beginning of this clip is really staticky, so I really apologize for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and super excited. Let's just get into the ingredients. Alright guys, so for this dish you are going to need some stew meat. However, if you guys want to just get steak and cut it up into little chunks, you guys can also do that. But for today's video, I did actually get the pre-cut stew meat. The next thing you're going to need is some noodles. I grabbed panini noodles, however, you guys can grab whatever kind you like. I personally like panini for this dish and just in general, so you guys can get whatever type of noodles you like. And last but not least, you are going to need some pork gravy. I did get the 2 cups one. However, if you only see one at your store, just grab 2. But yeah, I did grab this, and yeah, let's just get into the prep. Alright guys, so for the prep of the meat, I did get myself a deep dish pan, as you guys can see, and I did fill this up with water. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but I did fill this up with water. But before you actually go ahead and put the meat in here, I actually did put mine in a bowl and I did rinse it off with some water to clean the meat and get all the blood off of it. But I am going to go ahead and let this boil. And once this boils, we're going to add our meat into there and let it boil. That way it cooks the inside. I do have this on high, that way it gets like real hot to really cook the inside. And then we're going to add our seasonings and we can continue from there. Alright guys, so once your water is starting to get really hot and is boiling, we are just going to go ahead and add our meat in here. Make sure that you are careful because you do not want to burn yourself because the water is going to be hot. So definitely make sure that you're being careful. You are also going to want to go ahead and get something to actually mix this around with. You want to make sure that the meat cooks evenly and real thoroughly instead of having them just sit on the top. So you're going to need like a spoon or whatever you like to use to mix. And we are going to add our seasonings next. Alright guys, so for your seasoning for your steak, I'm going to be using Italian seasoning. I am just going to go ahead and put this into the water here. And just let it soak in with the rest of the other seasonings that we're going to be adding in. And the next thing that we're going to be adding in some onion powder. I love having onion powder mixed in with my steaks. It's really good. Sorry about that. My seasonings like to stick together sometimes, so we're going to add some onion powder. And last but not least, I am going to be adding some garlic powder. I like also having garlic as well with my steaks. Depending on personal preference though, if you guys don't like these seasonings, you can add whatever kind you like. We are going to let this sit here and boil for a couple of minutes, and then you should be able to drain all the water from this. And you're going to take all the meat out with your spoon or whatever you're using to pick it up. And you're going to set this aside into a separate bowl, and then we're going to fry it next. Alright y'all, so once your meat is boiled pretty thoroughly, I am going to go ahead and take the meat out and put them in this dish here. And I am going to drain the water, that way we can fry up our meat next. So I am just going to go ahead and take these out spoonful by spoonful. Alright guys, so as y'all can see, I do have my butter in the pan. And I did drain the water because we are going to be still using this pan. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to take my stew meat and just put this back here into our pan here. And you are going to let this cook and fry just so it gets a nice good crisp on it. And then once it's done, you can go ahead and set it to the side to go ahead and rest until we have our gravy. Alright guys, so to prep your noodles, you are going to get some water in a deep little pot, and what you're going to do is you're going to sit here and let this boil on high. Make sure that it's got a nice good boil to it, and then you're going to add your noodles, and you are going to cook them for about 7 to 10 minutes or until your desired taste that you like your noodles or texture you like your noodles. And you are going to need a strainer as well. The strainer is actually going to help with draining all of the nasty starch stuff from in the water, and you're going to rinse it underneath some hot water as well to clean your noodles. Alright y'all, so once your water is nice and hot here, we are going to go ahead and add our noodles. Just like this. Now you are going to want to continuously stir these for like just in intervals, just to make sure that the noodles do not stick to the bottom of the pan. So I do recommend using a spoon to go ahead and mix these around. And you're going to let these cook for about 7 to 10 minutes or until the noodles are nice and tender and chewy. You don't want them to be real stiff and crunchy. Alright, so once you have your noodles right here in the pot ready to be drained, you are going to go ahead and just grab some mittens. Make sure you grab the side that way you do not burn yourself. And just go ahead and tilt it into your strainer. Make sure you get all the noodles out. Some of them are a bit stuck down there. That's alright. But once you drain your pan or your little bowl, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and pick this up. I'm going to move this out of the way here. You're going to pick this up and you are just going to drain all the water out of it, just like this. And to get all the starchy stuff off, I am going to go ahead and rinse this underneath some warm water, or hot water. To make your gravy, you are going to need a glass-safe type measuring cup to put in here. I have my Pyrex, so if it is glass and microwave safe, you should go ahead and use that, or you're going to need that for this. And I have my packet of my gravy. So what I'm going to do is, since it makes 2 cups, I am going to put a little under 2 cups in this because I like my gravy a little thick. So if you guys want a thicker type gravy, you guys are more than welcome to just put a little under 2 cups. And you are going to heat this in the microwave for a couple of minutes just to make sure that it's nice and hot, and make sure that it is at least somewhat hot or boiling, and you can add your packet in afterwards and make sure that you mix thoroughly. What I do recommend as well is if it is too watery for you, if you go in and you just put it in the microwave on intervals for like 1 minute 30-second intervals, it will actually start to thicken up the gravy as well, and you guys can have it as thick or as not thick as you guys want. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get my water and we'll be moving on to the next part. Alright guys, so once you have your hot water, you are going to get something to mix it around with. I like to use a fork, but that's personal preference. However, you can use a spoon or whatever else you like. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to open up my gravy packet. Maybe. Okay. So I was struggling a little bit, but I got the packet open, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to put this in our water. Just like this. And make sure that you instantly start mixing into the water as well. And it is going to create chunks, but if you guys mash them with a fork or with your spoon, you should be able to get a good bit of that clumpiness out of your gravy. And I am going to go ahead and put this back in the microwave in intervals for about 1 minute to 1 minute and 30 seconds, just to make sure that it is all nice and thick the way that I like to have my gravy. Alright y'all, so once your gravy is done and to the consistency that you want it to be, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to take my gravy and I'm just going to pour this in here with our meat that we have. And I am going to leave this on low and I'm going to let this go ahead and simmer. That way the gravy really mixes in well with our stew meat or our beef chunks. So I am going to go ahead and let this simmer like this for a little bit, and then once it is all nice and cooked and thoroughly mixed in with the meat, then we can go ahead and work on our assembly. Alright guys, so for our assembly, what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and get our noodles here first that we did boil earlier. And you are just going to go ahead and add this to a bowl, just like this. And the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your simmered meat in your gravy, and you are just going to go ahead and add this right on top of your noodles. I am going to go ahead and try to get a good bit of gravy out of here as well. Alright. So, just add a good bit of gravy on it and some more meat. Just like that. And there you have it. You have your beef tips.